After I went blind, my arch-rival insisted on moving in with me. I thought he just wanted to get a laugh at my expense, until my sight was unexpectedly restored and I met his aroused gaze. He was biting the hem of his shirt, his breath ragged, staring at me as he furiously. Chapter 1. After the accident that took my sight, I went back to my dorm to grab my things. Behind me, I could hear hushed whispers. Damn, I can't stand Leo Shaw's cold and aloof act. Does he really think he's still the popular campus heartthrob? He's blind. What girl would want him now? Hey, keep it down, he's still here. I sighed. I was blind, not deaf. Whatever. It's not like we'd be roommates anymore. I packed my belongings and felt my way along the wall to the door. Suddenly, I tripped over something and fell hard, a sharp pain shooting through my knee. A gloating voice followed. Sorry about that. Forgot you couldn't see. You okay? But my hearing was sharp enough to catch the distinct click of a phone camera. He was taking a picture of me. I slowly got to my feet, my face cold. Delete it. I tried to pinpoint his location by his voice and lunged for the phone, but I grabbed at empty air. His laughter grew louder. Ha ha ha, how pathetic, some campus heartthrob. You're just a useless. Oof, it was the sound of a fist hitting flesh. A familiar voice cut through the air. Dumbass. I froze. What was Aiden Griffin doing here? The sounds of a beating and my roommate's pleas for mercy lasted for another 10 seconds or so. A moment later, a hand gripped my wrist. Aiden's voice was laced with impatience. What are you standing there for? Let's go. Why are you here? He snatched the bag from my hand, his tone clipped. I'm here to take you to live with me. I was bewildered. Why? Aiden was supposed to hate me. He should want to stay as far away from me as possible. I want to watch you make a fool of yourself up close. Is that a problem? I nodded. That made sense. Chapter 2. Aiden had rented a 2-bedroom apartment near the university. There was no elevator. Being blind, I climbed the stairs very slowly. Aiden supported me the whole way, and surprisingly, he didn't rush me. Once we were inside, he gave me a tour, explaining where everything was. Get yourself familiar with the place. Yell if you need anything. Thanks, Aiden was quick to clarify. Don't get the wrong idea. My mom heard about your accident and forced me to take care of you. I'm not this nice. Okay. That evening, I carried my wash basin to the bathroom. I hadn't had a chance to buy shower gel, so I had to use a bar of soap. But my hand slipped, and it clattered to the floor. I pressed myself against the wall and slowly crouched down, fumbling around on the tiled floor. I couldn't find it. In the darkness, a wave of helplessness washed over me again. So useless, I mocked myself. A knock came at the bathroom door, followed by Aiden's voice. You done in there? What's taking so long? I sighed, grabbed the towel hanging nearby, wrapped it around my waist, and opened the door. Can you help me find the soap? I dropped it. The small bathroom suddenly felt cramped with 2 adult men inside. I could feel Aiden standing very close to me. I see it. It's in the drain slot behind you. Just point me in the right direction. I'll get it myself. He let out a strange, short laugh. All right. Aiden took my wrist, his breath ghosting against the back of my ear as he guided me to turn around. Bend over. I followed his lead, bending down, and sure enough, my fingers found the slippery bar in the corner. Thanks, he didn't let go. The heat from his palm was searing. Holding me in that position, he leaned in and whispered, Leo, do you have any idea what it means to pick up the soap in front of a guy? A strange feeling crept over me. What does it mean? His voice from just above me was low and husky. Nothing. Finish your shower, I'm leaving. Chapter 3. I had temporarily taken a leave of absence from the university. My counselor, Mr. Davies, sounded regretful over the phone. Such a good kid, it's a shame about your sight. I remained silent. I was actually getting used to it, from the initial terror to my current numbness. My world was black when my eyes were closed, and black when they were open. Is there any chance of recovery? Mr. Davies asked. I nodded, then shook my head, forgetting he couldn't see me. The doctor said there's a chance, but it's not high. I have a follow-up in a month. His low sigh trickled into my ear. I hung my head in silence. Back at the apartment that night, Aiden suddenly announced he was going to do a deep clean, including my room. He told me to sit on the bed and not move. From the sounds, he was sweeping the floor. The next second, however, a sound made my skin crawl. Leo, there's a cockroach on your bed. My body went rigid and my hands clenched the bedsheet. I was terrified of cockroaches. They were just too big. Even after all this time in the South, I still couldn't get used to them. I felt Aiden lean in, bracing his arms on either side of me. Hold on, I'll take care of it now. His warm breath fanned across my ear, moist and hot. He was too close. I felt uneasy but didn't dare to move. Is it gone? Almost. After a moment, the warmth in front of me disappeared. It's dead, but it got your bedsheet dirty. I was silent. It was late, and even if I washed the sheet now, it wouldn't dry, and I didn't have a spare. Aiden's cocky tone returned. Leo, how about you beg me? Call me big bro, and I'll let you crash with me for a night. What do you say? Even without seeing him, I could picture the smug look on his face. Technically, I was older than him, but beggars can't be choosers. Big bro, a low chuckle came from above my head. That night, Aiden had me sleep on the inside of the bed, saying he was worried I'd fall off. His bed wasn't large, and it was a bit of a squeeze for two grown men. I tried to press myself as far against the wall as possible, but an arm suddenly draped over my waist. I flinched instinctively. The bed's too small, no room for my arm. Mind if I borrow your waist? I swallowed my words. It was his bed, after all. As I was drifting off to sleep, the arm around my waist tightened, and a source of heat pressed against my back. A faint whisper reached my ear. Good night. Chapter 4. After sharing a bed for a night, my relationship with Aiden had inexplicably thawed. The problem was, it had been raining nonstop lately, so my bedsheet was taking forever to dry. I had no choice. Swallowing my pride, I had to call Aiden big bro for a few more days. Sometimes when I woke up in the morning, I could hear Aiden's suppressed, ragged breathing in the room. I'd ask with concern, Aiden, are you okay? His voice would come out low and husky. I'm great. Just lifting weights. I marveled at his self-discipline. From what I remembered, Aiden had always been in great shape. I had even accidentally felt his abs once. A full 8-pack, the real deal. Last year during the winter break, Aiden's mom, Diane, saw that I was all alone and insisted I join them. I had a little too much to drink and passed out. Aiden carried me to his bed and started taking off his clothes to shower right in front of me. Broad shoulders, a narrow waist. He was exactly my type. The truth is I'm into guys, and even though Aiden hated me, he was, physically, my ideal man. I was so drunk that I just wrapped my arms around him. I even gave his abs a squeeze, giggling dazedly. So firm. Aiden's reaction was explosive. His face flushed red with anger and he snarled, Leo, what the hell do you think you're doing? Let go, but I was out of my mind. Not only did my claws not retract, but I also buried my face against him. I don't remember anything after that. I just know that for a whole week, Aiden wouldn't speak to me, and his face would turn crimson with fury whenever he saw me. I wanted to apologize later, but I never got the chance. Chapter 5. My dad's call came while Aiden was dragging me outside to get some sun. His tone had been firm. Leo, if you don't get outside, you're going to get moldy. I don't want to sleep next to a moldy person tonight. Resigned, I had followed him out. My phone rang and I answered. My dad's voice was full of blame. Leo, you went blind and you didn't even tell me. Do you even see me as your father anymore? Sorry, I forgot. A long silence followed. Just as I thought he was still angry, I heard a child's voice on the other end. Daddy, the sun is so nice today, are we going camping? Then a young woman's voice, sweet and cajoling. Honey, stop dawdling, let's go, followed by my dad's doting reply, coming. Just from the sounds, I could picture the happy family on the other end of the line. The man's cold, polite voice returned. I'll wire you some more money. Hire yourself a caretaker, but don't come looking for me. It will upset Cynthia and Sophie. You don't have to. The line went dead before I could finish. A moment later, a voice notification sounded from my phone. Your account ending in XXXX has received a deposit of $15,000. I stared blankly, clutching my phone. The sun felt warm on my skin, but it inexplicably transported me back to the hospital right after the car crash. The doctor had asked, you'll need someone to look after you while you're here. Where are your family members? I had just shaken my head at the darkness. After my mother died from her illness, my father remarried almost immediately. My new stepmother, Cynthia, didn't like me. She'd look at me with disgust. To please her, my father moved out with her, leaving me in our old house. He gave me a large sum of money and told me not to disturb them. Just as my eyes started to sting, a hand gripped my wrist, pulling me back to reality. We're here, Aiden said. This patch of grass is perfect for sunbathing. I heard my own voice, dry and hoarse. Okay, he gently helped me lie down, saying nothing about what had just happened, but his hand on my wrist never let go. Warmth spread from that point of contact, slowly enveloping my entire body. I slowly closed my eyes. The soft grass was beneath me, the warm sun above me. After I went blind, everyone else couldn't wait to get away from me, treating me like a burden. Only Aiden was willing to stay close. Even if he was just here to laugh at me, it was still nice. Chapter 6. Lately, Aiden had been so good to me it was starting to confuse me. He'd drag me along to eat with him and go for walks, dedicating himself to being my guide. When I asked why, he'd say, "I don't have any friends to hang out with. Since I'm letting you stay here, can't you at least keep me company?" He'd even sound a little hurt when he said it. I didn't understand what kind of company a blind person who could barely walk could offer him. But Aiden seemed to enjoy it. My bedsheet had been dry for ages, but Aiden refused to let me move back to my room. He'd hold on to me like a shameless leech and say, "I'm used to holding you." I can't sleep without a pillow. After much deliberation, I finally spoke up. "Aiden, I know you've always hated me. You don't have to force yourself to do this just because you feel sorry for me. I might be blind, but I can manage my daily life just fine." In my memory, Aiden's gaze had always been hostile. That spirited young man would always grind his teeth after every exam and say, "Leo, I'll definitely beat you next time." For him to suddenly be so caring could only mean one thing, pity, but Aiden didn't answer for a long time. "Aiden." I couldn't see his expression. I could only raise my hand and slowly trace his face. His brow, his high-bridged nose, and his thin, tightly pressed lips. He seemed angry. I lowered my hand, my voice softening. "I didn't mean anything by it." His voice was muffled. "I don't pity you. Then why are you being so nice to me?" He went silent again. I tried my old trick again. The moment my fingers brushed his lips, they were taken into his mouth. A tingling numbness shot from my damp fingertip through my entire body. Aiden's voice was muffled and slurred. "Ask again and I'll bite you. Go to sleep." My heart skipped a beat and I snatched my hand back. Chapter 7. After we started sharing a bed, Aiden's morning workouts became exceptionally frequent. Several times, I'd wake up to the sound of his suppressed, ragged breathing. I once asked out of curiosity, "How heavy are the weights you're lifting? Can I give them a try?" After all, whatever could make Aiden sound like that had to be pretty heavy. Unfortunately, he seemed very protective of his barbell and never let me touch it. One day, he took me for a walk on campus. We happened to pass the auditorium, where the Challenge Cup finals were underway. I heard the sounds from inside and slowed my steps. Aiden asked, "Want to go have a look?" I nodded. We went in and sat in the back row, but our presence still caused a small stir. The whispers, though quiet, reached my ears with perfect clarity. "Look, it's Leo and Aiden, the seniors. They're so handsome." If Leo could still see, he'd definitely be up there in the Challenge Cup finals. I heard he worked with the team for almost 6 months, but then he went blind right before the finals, and the captain just kicked him out. Said they didn't need a good for nothing. Then he immediately brought in his girlfriend, who knows nothing, to piggyback on the project for credit. What? That's so awful. The grip on my wrist tightened, Aiden's hand growing frighteningly hot. I felt the veins bulge on his arm and gently patted it. It's all in the past. It was the team captain, Trevor, who had approached me in the first place. "Leo, you're amazing with data processing. Want to join our team?" For that competition, I had given up a great internship and pulled several all-nighters. I had done most of the primary data analysis. In the end, he was also the one who kicked me off the team. "Leo, you're blind now anyway, so winning won't do you any good. My girlfriend needs this for her graduate school application." No matter how much resentment or anger I felt, it was all in the past. The next day, Aiden left early and didn't come back all day. In the middle of the night, I felt a warm body press against my back. "Aiden?" I asked groggily. "Yeah." A bracelet was slipped onto my wrist. "What's this?" Aiden's voice was muffled. "Don't worry about it, just wear it. I went to a temple and prayed for it for you." I ran my fingers over the bracelet. How strange. The guy who never believed in gods or spirits, who was too lazy to even burn incense for good luck before his college entrance exams. He had actually gone to a temple to pray for me. It must be for my eyes. Aiden wrapped his arms around my waist again, his voice tight with anger. "And about that damn Challenge Cup, I went to the relevant administrators today. I'm going to get you justice. They can't just bully you like that. If you can stand it, I can't." I had already let it go, but a sudden warmth spread through my chest. After a long moment, I said, "Thanks." Aiden buried his head in my back without a word, holding me even tighter. Chapter 8. About a month later, the doctor scheduled a follow-up. Aiden had class that day, so I didn't ask him to come with me. I went by myself. I used my cane, tapping my way along the tactile paving. I occasionally tripped over electric scooters parked on the path. The journey was full of bumps and stumbles, but thankfully, I didn't fall. After the examination, the doctor gave me the happy news. "Your eyes are getting better. Once the internal bruising dissipates on its own, you should be able to see again. My eyes widened, and I instinctively touched the bracelet on my wrist. My vision was still a sea of black, but it felt as if there was a glimmer of light. When I got back to the apartment, I didn't tell Aiden the news. I wanted to give him a surprise. One morning, I opened my eyes. Faint light filtered in, and the world slowly came into focus. I think I could really see. Excited, I turned my head to share the good news with Aiden, but my gaze met his, and they were filled with raw arousal. In all my life, I had never seen Aiden like this. He was biting down hard on the hem of his shirt, the corners of his handsome eyes flushed crimson. His moist eyes were locked on me, and the hand that usually held my wrist was. I jerked my gaze away, my face burning. A thought struck me, and my voice came out hoarse. "Are you lifting weights again?" His voice was low, strained, and filled with suppressed desire. Yeah, my Adam's apple bobbed heavily. Listening to the sounds from his side of the bed, my ears turned scarlet. He wasn't lifting any iron, he was clearly. I couldn't hold it in any longer. I decided to come clean. Aiden actually, I can chapter 9, but in my peripheral vision, I saw Aiden's reaction to hearing his name. His body shuddered violently, and a deep, contented sigh escaped his throat. His eyes fixed on me were dark and intense. I clamped my hands over my face, swallowing the words I can see back down my throat. Damn it, I couldn't say it. There was no way I could say it now. Aiden grabbed a few tissues and slowly cleaned his fingers. His scorching gaze was still on me. I gripped the bedsheets, trying desperately to control my expression and the stirring in my own body. When did Aiden start thinking of me like this? I had no idea how to face this situation. Steeling myself, I decided to pretend for one more day and find a better time to confess. But there was no better time. Aiden, taking full advantage of my blindness, was completely and utterly shameless. No matter what I did, he was glued to my side. When I brushed my teeth, he stood right next to me. He stared at my reflection in the mirror, the emotion in his eyes so thick it was about to spill over, making the tips of my ears burn. At meals, he sat beside me, piling food into my bowl as he watched me eat. He'd lie and say he threw out my leftovers, but he actually finished them all himself. Especially when he took the chopsticks I had just used, his eyes would darken, and he'd stare at my lips as he slowly kissed the spot I had touched. My throat went dry. Pervert. Or, for instance, when I was washing my hands, he'd corner me at the sink. "Leo, don't move. There's a cockroach on the basin." I jumped in fright, instinctively looking down, but the clean, polished sink was completely empty. The only thing there was the reflection of Aiden's delighted expression in the mirror. A smirk played on his lips as he leaned closer. His solid chest pressed against my back, an intimate posture, as if he were holding me in his arms. He rested his head on my shoulder. My heart began to race. After a long moment, he said, "Took care of it." But in the mirror, his reflection was silently mouthing words. The shape of his lips formed. "You smell so good." His hot breath ghosted over my ear. It was so scalding it made me want to run. My face was beet red as I suddenly remembered that first day, when Aiden had claimed there was a cockroach. Was there really? I finally waited until Aiden was doing the laundry to confess, but then I saw him pick up my pajamas, bury his face in them, and take a deep, long sniff. All this time, he'd always, helpfully, thrown my dirty clothes in with his. I had thought he was just helping me out since I couldn't use the washing machine, but the truth was he had ulterior motives. Aiden rubbed his face against my pajamas, his eyes, full of possessive hunger, locked on me. He moved the pajamas from his face down to his neck, then to his lower abdomen. My face burst into flames. Pervert. "Leo, why is your face so red?" he asked, his voice low and husky. I avoided his gaze, swallowing nervously. "It's nothing." His voice came again. "Leo, I think your eyes look brighter than before." I froze, pulling my arms over my face like a turtle retreating into its shell. "You're probably just imagining things." Chapter 10. Aiden had clearly hated me before. Where did it all go wrong? We were neighbors growing up, so our parents were constantly comparing us. My grades were always a little better than his, which made him gnash his teeth in frustration. "Just you wait, Leo. I'll definitely score higher than you next time." I think I truly offended him in our senior year of high school, when the girl he was rumored to be with confessed her feelings to me instead. His expression was so cold he looked like he wanted to kill someone. After the college entrance exams, I deliberately chose a university in the South, hoping to get away from him. I never expected that we'd end up at the same school. It's a small world. But now my feelings were complicated. The person I thought hated me my whole life actually seemed to like me, and he was a pervert. When Aiden finally settled down, I cautiously asked, "Aiden, didn't you used to hate me?" He didn't look up, but his answer was a relief. "I did. My mom was always comparing my grades to yours. You were too good, and I could never beat you, so I hated you. Being at the same university just made me hate you more." But in the next second, he held his phone up in front of my face. On the screen were the words he had just typed. "Actually, hating someone is just another way of liking them. Leo, I will hate you forever." My heart jolted. There was that unexplainable feeling again. Continuing my act, I asked, "Do you remember that girl in senior year you were rumored to be with? She confessed to me later, and you seemed really angry." I remembered that after that incident, Aiden stopped talking to me completely. His glare only got colder. Aiden answered nonchalantly, "Yeah, because I liked her." But then he held up his phone again, because I was jealous. "I didn't even get a chance to confess to you. How dare she beat me to it? And everyone in class said you accepted. Why did you accept? Why can't you be mine to look at and mine alone?" My eyes flickered. The classmates were gossiping. "I never accepted." After that, no matter what I asked, it was the same routine. Aiden would say one thing, then type the complete opposite on his phone and show it to me. Taking advantage of my blindness, he even waved it right in front of my face. "I like you, I like Leo Shaw. I want to hold you in my arms. I want to kiss your lips. I want to touch you, lick you, I want to." The words grew more and more explicit until I practically fled to the bathroom. My heart was pounding out of control. This was insane. Finally, night came. We were lying in bed, and I was debating whether to confess when he started teasing me again. "Leo, there's a cockroach behind you." I didn't believe him this time. I didn't even move, just turned my head to look. To my horror, through the mosquito net, I saw the shadowy form of a huge one, its long antennae twitching. I yelped and dove into Aiden's arms. He held me tight. Our bodies were pressed flush against each other. Aiden's lips brushed against my ear, like a kiss. His warm breath tickled my skin. "Leo, you can see again, can't you?" It wasn't a question, it was a statement. In the darkness, my body went stiff. I didn't deny it. Chapter 11. "How much did you see?" There was no embarrassment in Aiden's voice. Instead, it held a hint of anticipation. I stammered, not much." He nuzzled my neck, his voice low and shameless. "Leo, do I look good when I'm lifting weights?" I couldn't help it. I tried to push him away. Pervert. But he grabbed my wrist, his palms scorching hot. He guided my hand under his shirt, placing it on his firm abs. The skin beneath my palm was warm and solid. His low voice continued its seduction. "Leo, didn't you say you liked me? Remember that winter break at my house? Holding me wasn't enough for you. You even buried your face against me. Your face is so soft, it made me." His words made me blush all the way to my neck. I followed the sound of his voice and clamped my hand over his mouth to shut him up. "Shut up." But I felt a damp warmth against my palm. Aiden held my wrist, his tongue darting out to lick and kiss my skin. His other hand was still guiding mine, moving it slowly from his abs to his chest, and then, as if he were showing off his assets, I had to admit it. It was all exactly what I liked. His voice seeped through my fingers. "Leo, if you hate it, then hit me." I was dazed, completely seduced. Just as things were about to get out of control, I kicked him hard. Aiden let out a muffled grunt but still refused to let go of me. His voice trembled and his eyes, red-rimmed, stared at me. "Leo, that felt so good." "Do it again, damn it." How had I never realized Aiden was such a pervert? I gritted my teeth and cursed at him. "Get away from me." Chapter 12. That night, I didn't let Aiden hold me. In the morning, he apologized cautiously. But I ignored him. It wasn't that I was angry. I just didn't know how to process the fact that the arch-rival I thought had hated me my entire life was actually a pervert who had been lusting after me. And the worst part was, I didn't mind. Aiden's actions last night had crossed a line, and I felt ashamed, nervous, and flustered. But one thing I didn't feel was disgust. If Aiden was a pervert, what did that make me, who had been half resisting, half yielding? But I never expected Aiden would resort to anything and everything to win me back. The proud, stubborn Aiden Griffin. He knelt before me, lowered his head, and used the softest part of him to please me. I gripped his hair tightly, almost unable to hold back a sound. He grabbed a tissue, a low chuckle in his throat. "Leo, your pleasure is my pleasure." Then he got up and went to the bathroom. Soon, the sound of the shower started. It took me a long time to recover. After I pulled myself together, while Aiden was still in the shower, I fled in a panic. The whole way, I told myself, I'm going to see Mr. Davies to end my leave of absence. I am absolutely not running away from anything. Mr. Davies was thrilled to see that my sight had returned. As for my missed classes, he helped me apply to take them with a lower year group to make up the credits. Everything was settled. As I walked out of his office, the sun felt warm on my skin. I looked up, and for some reason, my thoughts drifted back to Aiden. During those days of darkness, he was like the sun, pulling me out of a bottomless pit. On the way back to the apartment, I decided to go back and talk things through with him. Halfway there, I was cornered in a small alley by Trevor, the Challenge Cup captain. His eyes were bloodshot. He dropped to his knees with a thud. "Leo, can you please go talk to the administration? Tell them not to cancel my project's score." "What?" Chapter 13. I instinctively took a step back. Aiden had told me what happened. After he persistently reported the issue to the university, Trevor and his girlfriend were found guilty of academic misconduct. Their eligibility for the Challenge Cup was revoked, and their score was nullified. I never thought he'd come here today to beg me. I looked at his groveling expression, and for a moment, it was as if I was back in the time after I'd gone blind. When he was kicking me off the team, I had pleaded with him in the darkness. I was involved in all the preliminary data work. I poured my heart and soul into this. "You can't just kick me out like this." What had he said back then? His tone was full of disgust. "Leo, you're a blind man now. What can a good-for-nothing like you bring to this team? You're just a burden. If you really care about this team, you'll quit." And now, it was as if our roles were reversed. He was at a dead end, begging me in a low, submissive voice. "Leo, can you please talk to the administration and get my score reinstated? Please, this score is really important to me. I need it to apply to universities abroad." My face was cold. "Sorry, I can't do that." I tried to walk around him, but he grabbed my pant leg. "Are you still angry at me? Leo, I know I was wrong. If you want, you can hit me." "Hit me?" He started slapping himself, his expression twisted. I backed away cautiously, my brow furrowed. Something was seriously wrong with him. I discreetly pulled out my phone, intending to call Aiden. Seeing that his theatrics weren't working, the man before me's face darkened completely. He stood up and pulled out a knife. He stared at me with a look of pure, jealous hatred and threatened. "Leo, do you think you're so great now that you can see again? If you don't do what I say, I have ways to make you go blind all over again." Before I could react, he raised the knife and slashed at my eyes. Chapter 14. I dodged to the side and the knife missed, but he was like a mad dog, his face contorted with rage, and he lunged at me again. As we scuffled, the blade came dangerously close to my eyes again. I squeezed my eyes shut, but the pain I expected never came. Aiden was gripping Trevor's wrist, his own eyes blood red, his voice trembling with fury. "What the fuck do you think you're doing?" Aiden pinned him to the ground, twisting his wrist back viciously. Trevor let out a piercing scream as the knife clattered to the ground. My face was pale, my fists clenched tight. Aiden raised his fist and brought it down hard. "How dare you?" He just got his sight back, "How dare you?" The man under him glared back with malice. "Why should I lose my score while he gets to see again? He deserves to be blind for the rest of his life." That sentence sent Aiden into a complete rage. "Shut up!" His eyes were red as he rained down a flurry of punches. Soon the mad dog's snarls turned into cries and pleas for mercy. Any more and this would get serious. I ran forward and pulled Aiden back. "Aiden, calm down." He was breathing heavily. He let go of the swollen-faced mess on the ground, but not before giving him a few more vicious kicks. Then he turned and wrapped his arms around me, his voice trembling. "That was so close. You were so close to losing your sight again." Something wet trickled down my neck. I stroked the back of his head, trying to soothe him. "Aiden, don't cry, I'm okay." We ended up calling the police. Based on the security footage, the mad dog was detained, and Aiden's actions were ruled as self-defense. Back at the apartment, he meticulously checked my eyes again. After he asked for the 10th time if I felt any discomfort or if I wanted to go to the hospital, I got annoyed and shut him up with a kiss. I sealed his non-stop mouth. Aiden froze, silenced. Chapter 15. Finally, some quiet. I pulled back, my face flushed, and pretended to casually pick up my wash basin to go shower. A hand snaked around my waist, and Aiden pulled me into his arms, his handsome face pressed down towards mine. He kissed me deeply, his large hand finding the hem of my shirt and slipping inside. My head spun, and the basin fell from my hands. Before I knew it, Aiden had led me to the bed, his voice low and husky. "Leo, weren't you curious about the barbell I use for my morning workouts? I'll show you now." As he spoke, He started taking off his clothes right in front of me. I realized what he meant, my face turning red as I cursed, "Pervert." He just licked my earlobe. "There's more perverted stuff where that came from. Want to try? Leo, do you like the barbell I use? Leo, can I call you baby? Your voice is so sexy. Baby, your eyes are so beautiful. Every time you just look at me, I'm about to." I couldn't take it anymore and slapped him. "Can you just shut up?" He kissed my hand, his voice growing even more excited. It trembled as he said, "Baby, hit me again. Damn it." In the end, he carried me to the bathroom. The small space was cramped and hot with 2 grown men inside. I was using the shower gel when I accidentally knocked over the bar of soap. Just as I was about to bend down and pick it up, a scorching heat pressed against my back again. "Baby, do you know what it means to pick up the soap in a men's dorm?" The next second, a large pair of hands pressed down on my waist. I found out exactly what it meant. Leaning against the wall, my legs were so weak I could barely stand. Aiden's hot breath was in my ear. "I love you so much. From now on, you can only pick it up for me." Chapter 16. Another winter break rolled around. This time, Aiden took me straight to his home. I was nervous, afraid his parents would find out about us. "Should we really?" He gave me a kiss. "Don't be scared. My parents are our #1 fan. You'll see when we get there." Me. Before we arrived at his house, I bought 2 large bags of gifts for his parents. Fearing it wasn't enough, I was about to order more. Aiden tried to stop me several times. That's enough anymore, and our house won't be able to fit it all." When he saw I was still determined, he just snatched my phone. He pushed me down on the sofa and silenced me with his lips. By the end, I was so flustered and weak that all thoughts of buying more gifts had vanished. Standing at his door, I took a deep breath. The door opened, and his mother, Diane, greeted me warmly. She glanced at Aiden, a knowing, fond smile spreading across her face. "Oh, you must be little Leo. Come in, come in." His father, Mark, smiled at me. Behind my back, he gave Aiden a thumbs up. The subtext was clear. "Attaboy, you finally brought him home." They had prepared a huge feast, and half the dishes were my favorites. "Little Leo, don't be shy. Just make yourself at home," Mrs. Griffin said. "Thank you, Mrs. Griffin." Red lanterns hung on the walls, and the dining table was filled with laughter and conversation. On the TV, the New Year's Gala countdown was on, and we clinked our glasses together. I got drunk again. "After dinner, Mr. And Mrs. Griffin insisted on giving me a cash gift. As I was trying to refuse, Aiden dragged me, gift and all, back to his room. He placed me on the bed and started taking off his clothes. I watched, mesmerized. My phone rang again. I answered it. It was my dad's indifferent voice. "I'm sending you some money. Don't come looking for us this year either." Then, without waiting for a reply, he hung up. In the past, I would have been heartbroken. But today, maybe because I was drunk, I felt nothing at all. Instead, I found myself grinning foolishly at the ceiling. "I won't. I'm spending the new year at home this year." Aiden rubbed his abs against me. "Like what you feel." I buried my face against him. "I love it." Chapter 17. That night, Aiden held me as I slept. I had a dream. I dreamed of the summer after our exam results were released. Aiden suddenly came knocking on my door. He had his hands in his pockets, his expression a little unnatural. "Leo, which university did you apply to?" I found it strange. "Why are you asking?" His ears turned red, but he shot back fiercely. "I don't want to see you, so I need to avoid you." "Is that a problem?" I nodded. That made sense. I told him the name of the university and reassured him. "Don't worry, I applied to a school in the south. It's really far from here. We probably won't see each other again." Aiden stood there, stunned for a long moment, before saying through gritted teeth, "Good." He didn't leave. I looked at him, confused. He hung his head, his expression hidden. "Why are you going so far away for university?" I thought for a moment. "Because there's nothing here worth staying for." Aiden's body went rigid. He spun around abruptly. His voice was fierce but trembled slightly. "You'd better mean that." But when I got to university for freshman registration, I saw that familiar face again. Excited whispers from upperclassmen filled the air around me. "Wow, there are 2 super handsome guys in this year's freshman class. It was so worth it to volunteer for registration duty. Look, the fiery handsome one keeps looking at the gentle-looking handsome one. Do you think they know each other?" Hiss, my gaydar is going off. After I finished registering, I tried to leave, but Aiden blocked my path. He had the audacity to complain first. How did I end up at the same university as you again? So annoying." I stared at him, stunned. Wasn't he supposed to be studying at a local university? "What are you doing here?" He stared at my face, his expression strange, as if he were holding something back. don't get the wrong idea. Things didn't work out with my first choice, so I ended up here. Otherwise, I wouldn't have come. I thought for a moment and offered some comfort. Well, that's a shame, but this is a good school too. He looked at me and just grunted, as if silently agreeing. Then he turned, stuck his hands in his pockets, and swaggered away. I watched his back as he left. After a long moment, I turned and walked towards my dorm, in the complete opposite direction of his. Our figures grew farther and farther apart. In a place where I couldn't see, the corners of Aiden's lips curled up as he muttered my name. Leo Shaw.